a woman kick Homelander's ass. Excuse my French. Sorry, Mom, again. Obviously, you raised me super well.
Well, that was fabulous. I put my took my earbuds out and it auto started one of the videos. But anyway, don't mind me. I'm just trying to get things ready. I made a late start because I was busy with dinner, and dinner is still in the process, so I will have to exit out of here for a while. Let's see if I can add myself a little chat. Go to the live box. I was busy with dinner and close that. Okay, chats. Here we go. I am here a little late, but here. Wow, I did not spell that correctly. Okay, I think it's all correct now. I'm hoping I have the chat box fixed. I noticed on one of my live streams that my chat box was, I don't get very many chats. It's mostly just myself. Every now and then somebody else will chime in. But it's not like I have enough to just have new chats every time I open a new window. So I believe I have it set up to automatically reload the chats from the beginning each time I am on a new screen. So hopefully that is working correctly. All right.
How many buns am I making?
I mean, if you want, you can make 4 of them, but if Taylor's gonna make theirs, you don't need to make theirs. I'm in here doing this, so you could make mine, but you don't have to.
Or you only make 3 of them then?
Sure. So our dinner tonight is salmon burgers, which we don't usually do anything like that, but my husband got them, so we're going to go ahead and give it a try. I'm pretty sure I've had a salmon burger one time before, but that was it. Time to begin. Hello everyone, I am here. This is Venus Brown from Venus Brown Reacts, and we're not doing reactions for GenV, at least not right now. I am doing a pre-watch. So I did a previous pre-watch for the first 3 episodes that were dropped. Now I'm doing one for episode 4. It's probably going to be a little off the cuff because I've been busy doing stuff and didn't exactly get completely ready. But I did find myself, it wasn't a trailer, it was something else. Something from the cast members. So I'll be showing that later, but not right now. And I think there was one other thing that I found, which I may or may not be playing. Because it was like interviews, but I usually prefer to do interviews that are done by the channel or the TV show production, and this I think is from some other channel, but I might still put it on anyway. I tried to find a trailer for the episode. I think I did find one. It just took me a while. It took me a while. Like, all the trailers I was finding looked like they were, like, content that fans had put together from previous episodes. So I tried to avoid that. But I'm pretty sure what I found is an actual trailer. I'll put that on later. For right now, let's talk a little bit about the first 3 episodes. So I'm not going to remember exactly what took place on each episode. I will do my best to just kind of talk a little bit about the things that stood out to me on the first 3 episodes. So if you know what episode it came in, you can go ahead and put it in there. If I think I know, I might say, but yeah. So let's see. We start out, and I don't want to do a total walkthrough. I don't have the memory and capacity or the notes right now to do a walkthrough, and I tend to go on and on too much, so it would end up taking forever. So we did start out at the beginning, and Jordan was in Elmira, like a little juvenile prison thing for the Soups, and Emma was in a truck. They were taking Jordan and putting him in the truck, and they didn't know what the fuck's going on because nobody fucking tells them a goddamn thing. And so Emma's like scared that they're fucking taking them to their demise. Luckily, that's not what was going to happen. But what happens? They get to where they're going, and Kate is there, and she's just like, "Hi guys," like nothing ever happened, and everything's all fucking hunky dory. And they're like, "What the actual fuck? Like, why the fuck are you here? What the hell?" And yeah, that didn't go well. At least not as well as Kate would have liked it to go. And then we find out that Andre is dead. Kate doesn't know about it. Like, some of us audience members may have known about it because Chance, the guy who played Andre, had died, and I'd already watched trailers trailers and an interview that talked about what they were going to do, at least a little bit about what they were going to do about Chance being dearly departed. So Emma and Jordan are not at all happy with the situation. They're not at all happy with Kate, and they're like, you don't fucking know what happened, and if you don't know what happened, then you can fucking read my mind like you do anyway. Like, you're always reading our minds without any fucking consent or anything anyway. And so then Kate finds out what happened. In the meantime, Marie is missing. Apparently she had broken out. And hold on, my screen is not right, and it looks like my camera just went out. Lovely. Okay, let's fix this. Let's get my camera going again. Camera. Come on. There we go. Okay, camera's back in action. So yeah, Andre's dead, so he's not there. Marie is gone because she broke out. Apparently she broke out first, then Andre tried to break out, and it killed him. It literally made him stroke out because of the situation that we found out about at the end of the last season, that he had the problems that his father was having with his powers, which were causing micro tears and destroying his brain. And he was trying... You don't need any context, and where is this coming from? I am betting this is coming from my phone. Hold on. So my phone likes to auto-connect to my computer, which I have it set up to do, so that's on me. Let me see if that is what it is. I don't know. It might be. Let me... is there a way for me to disconnect? I don't see it. I don't see it, so maybe it's not coming from there. I don't know. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So my husband brought me food because I had left it in the kitchen and hadn't made my bun or anything, but I did make the food. I just left it there on the stovetop. Okay, I am just gonna really quick try to figure out if I can find out what was going on. Let's see. I'm gonna quit the phone connection. So hopefully if it was the phone, that doesn't come back on. Let's see. That's Samsung Magician. I don't think I see anything else on there that might be doing it. Let me see. I don't see anything up in my tabs that looks like it's going. So, okay. Anyway, Chance is dead. So the character Andre is dead. They're slowly finding out what happened. And like I was trying to say before I lost track, Marie had broken out. She tried to break out and was successful at breaking out before anybody else did. And that gave Andre the idea that, well, if she can do it, then I can do it too. But it didn't work out that way because, like I said, he ended up trying to do more than he should have been doing. He never bothered to tell any of his friends what was going on with him and his father's powers. So they didn't know. They had no idea. Later on in the show, they try to find Marie. She is seen in a online video trying to help some Starlighters that got in trouble, and they go to find her, and Kate shows up. Kate ends up reading Marie's mind and finding out that Marie had seen Starlight and something about Odessa, but she doesn't know what it is. So she gets ready to go and touch them to make them do her bidding, basically, to make her do whatever it is she thinks that they should do to keep them safe, in her opinion. I don't think she has the mental capacity right now to understand that her doing all these things to stay in lockstep with what the authorities in the school are telling her to do is actually making them unsafe. Like, telling anybody that Marie had spoken to Starlight, or that that she knows about something called Odessa could have caused them serious harm, but she's not registering that. Let's see what else happens. Emma has the unfortunate reality that she has to put up with being around Sam, who broke it off with her in a very fucking cruel, awful way because he was messed up in the head from Kate. And now he's still messed up in the head from Kate, like basically wiping him over and over and over again. So he's still being a complete dickhead and thoughtless and callous to Emma. And Emma has to put up with that. And yeah. And then Emma just like lays on him that Andre's dead, which he doesn't know about. he wouldn't have known about it, but had something happened for him to know about it, like Kate would have cleared his mind anyway, so he wouldn't have known about it anyway. But he didn't, and she told him to go and check with Kate. Kate knows what happened. But yeah, it was all kinds of fucked up. All kinds of fucked up. We meet this new dean, Cypher. And Cypher, we find out, was at Elmira. But not only was he at Elmira, we find out in a later episode that he was the doctor that birthed Marie. And Odessa is a scientific project, secret project, dealing with Marie. I think it was about those babies, but apparently Marie was the only of those babies that lived. So they're saying Marie is Odessa. Sorry for eating in front of you, but I do need to eat, and it's technically past my dinner time, and I've just been busy, so I haven't had time to eat. And plus, I didn't have time to make dinner until right before I started this, so, which was a big part of the reason that I was late. All right, let's see. What else? Oh my gosh. So Cypher has them doing this freaking program. Like some of the crime fighters, I think some of the more elite of the soups in Godolkin has them in this. I don't remember what he called it, but it was like, it's basically like this class to level up your powers. And so far, he's had them in a fighting rink against this guy that has a fucking giant hammer, and he really shouldn't have students fighting with him, but he does. He does ask them a very important question, though, I think, about how their powers actually work. Like, they explain, like Marie explained that, you know, she can use her blood to do things. But he's like, how? Like, is it your platelets? Is it your white cells? What is it about your powers that makes them work? Like, what is it that ticks? You know, find out more about those little details of how your powers work so that you can use that to get better, to use your powers better. Which I think she's just starting to use her powers in a way that doesn't involve cutting. And I don't know, I didn't really appreciate the whole, like, them, like, focusing on self-harm by saying that the things that they do to access their power are self-harm. I understand how they can be in this situation. I remember talking about it in the last season, about some of the things that they were doing I would equate with self-harm, whereas their regular use of accessing their powers that way, when they're not trying to harm themselves, I would not equate with self-harm. Like, one is doing it because you are in such pain that you want to feel something, that you're looking for that emotion or whatever. You're not necessarily doing it for your powers, you're doing it to feel something. That to me is self-harm. Whereas doing it because it's all you know on how to access your powers, or that's the main way you know to access your powers, I would not call self-harm. So him like acting like, oh, it's he made the comment that it was distasteful for her to use self-harm to access her powers, and I was like, what you're saying is distasteful. But I guess now that she does know that she can access her powers in other ways, I am very glad she is starting to hone in on that and starting to try to use it. I think that's a good idea, to try to use it more and more. But she is used to using her powers through cutting and accessing her blood that way. So until she gets a little bit better at it, I don't think she's going to be ready to completely transition to a non-cutting form of accessing her powers. And Emma, same thing. Like, she's just slowly starting to get a little bit of a handle on accessing her power without vomiting. So that's going to take a while. Like we saw her when she accidentally shrunk from being so emotional, trying to hype herself up to get big again, and it wasn't working. So she ended up dressing up in little doll clothes and playing beer pong, using herself as like the ball in beer pong or something like that, which was weird. But you know, what are you gonna do? Like she said, when she found out that the girl with the tail was the one that was distributing, or one of the people that was distributing those flyers, and found out that her true power is chameleon, which allows her to take like echo other people's powers for a short while. And she tried to use Emma's power, and she's like, oh my god, like, how do you get used to this? Like, how do you deal with this being nude all of a sudden? And she's like, you know, you get used to the nudity thing because it happens so often. And so that's how I see the beer pong thing. Like, she's used to that stuff like that happening so often. Having to roll with it in situations like that so often, that she just gets used to it. It's just part of the way things are for her. I think it sucks, but it's a reality. I was very, very proud of Emma getting Andre's dad to actually get involved with them. That was good. Like, that took a lot of gumption to even go in. Like, going in his house, like, I think maybe she should have made a little more effort to try to get him to answer the door, but I don't think he would have anyway. But getting through to him in the state of grief that he was in, and convincing him to help out, that was pretty fucking awesome. There was one other thing that I wanted to talk about before I move on to other things with the 3 episodes that came out. Oh gosh, what was it? Oh yeah, it has to do with this funky stuff. These people, these soups, kid soups. I mean, they're freaking teenagers, young adults, and they're in these awkward situations that are very uncomfortable and very precarious. And one of the things that I realized with Jordan, when Jordan ends up into this position where where they end up as number one Godalkin student, and they start having to deal with the fucking sexual crap similar to what Emma's had to deal with. So, because Jordan can switch from male to female, these people that are like really not fucking corrected for the awful shit that they do and awful actions they take, some of these guides are like literally using these kids' superpowers for their set of sexual gratification. And it didn't even occur to me until it was happening, and I was like that shit, like Jordan's gonna have to go through that kind of crap, just like Emma was going through that kind of crap, because now Jordan is in a number one spot, and their face is right there on everything. They're getting all this attention that they're not necessarily gonna want, and unfortunately it's going to result in that kind of shit. I think even if you're not in a situation where people are allowing all kinds of fucked up shit to happen without any consequence, even when you're not in that kind of world, like Vought and the boys in GenV, it is real life, and fucked up shit like that happens anyway. So that sucks. But when you're in an environment where people are like actively allowing people to get away with awful shit, I think it makes it much worse. Much, much worse. Okay, so let's think. What are we going to talk about next? Because I don't want to do a play-by-play. I don't want to spend much more time talking about the previous 3 episodes. But I do want to talk about like favorite scenes, favorite actors, stuff like that. But I have not like gone through and picked out for individual episodes. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of total for all 3 episodes. My favorite character for all 3 episodes was Emma. Emma like really stuck her neck out and did some awesome shit in order to get people on board with helping each other out, actively being involved in taking down certain shit and trying to fix fucked up shit that she knows is happening and that her other friends know is happening, and that she knows needs to be fucking taken care of. She was instrumental in getting Jordan to be willing to come with her to try to find Marie when she felt Marie was probably in danger. And I don't think Marie was really in danger from the situation that Emma saw her in the video, but she was in danger. So that was good. Kate ending up with her head fucking smashed in like she did, that sucked, but I am very glad that Kate is alive. I just really wish that these kids that really need psychological, physical, emotional help that they're not getting, I really wish that they were actually getting the kind of help that they need. Not what Vought and the authority figures at Godalkin are doing by manipulating her powers for their advantage. That is fucked up. Alright, so let's see. So I did Emma, favorite character. Favorite scene. Let me think on this. It's like I said, I did not write down notes. I didn't do any of that stuff. Mainly, I spent a lot of time trying to find trailers and stuff like that, hoping that I could find a behind the scenes or interviews or something like that. And I didn't find a lot, but I did find some things. It just took me a while. Let's see. Favorite scene. Favorite scene. Oh my gosh. When Emma is with Andre's dad, Polarity, I think. Was it Polarity? Polaris? Something like that. She's with him in this, like, kind of like a library, like top secret, has a bunch of files, and they're not finding anything, but she's super high as a kite, and she's like, why don't we check out this secret room? I've been hearing the fan, oh, wow, going the whole time. So she gets him in there, and unfortunately, it's like stacked with tons of freaking Nazi Holocaust shit, because apparently the Godalkin guy and the Godalkin people were very heavily into that fucking Nazi shit. So that was not good. But when she found the Odessa file and she got super excited about the Odessa file and then she blew up, that was hilarious. And especially when the guy in charge of the place comes in, and was it when he came in? I don't remember. It was either she was talking to Polarity or whatever Andre's dad's name is, or when the other guy came in, and she's like excited that she finally was able to blow up without the eating or whatever. And she's like got her boobs on here going boo 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 boo. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I loved that scene. Definitely my favorite scene. Let's do favorite episode. Favorite episode. Ugh. I mean, I just watched episode 2 again, and I really liked it, but I still feel like episode 3 was my favorite. Even though I felt like I really liked episode 2, I think it's because I did just watch it, whereas I did not just watch episode 3. From what I remember, when I was watching the 3 episodes, it was the third one that I liked the best. Why? Because they're getting down to business. They're finding stuff out, and they're taking actions to kind of make things happen. I am very, very, this isn't going to be my least favorite scene, but my most disconcerting scene, my most worried, was at the end of episode 3 when Jordan went and told all about them being the one that attacked Kate. That is very, very concerning for me. I worry for their safety. I worry for their life. Is this going to end up taking them out of the picture temporarily? Is it going to end up harming them? Is it going to end up killing them? I really hope not, especially the killing thing. I really hope not, but I am definitely concerned about it. Let's do least favorite scene. Least favorite scene. Oh my God. Fucking Sam, when he starts talking to Emma and just acts like everything should be peachy fine and she should be okay with everything, and all the problems that she had nothing to do with him. Like, that really pissed me off when he said it had nothing to do with me. I'm like, what the fucking oh God, yeah, that pissed me off. Let's see. So that's least favorite scene. Least favorite character. I think I'm going to go with Cypher. Like, the way he acts, the things he says, and the reality that he has been involved in so many things behind the scenes that people don't know about. I am very worried that he is going to be like a big bad guy in this. Like, even before I started watching the show, I was concerned he was going to be a really bad guy. It's just like all the evidence from the episode so far is definitely piling against him. It definitely feels like he's going to be a really, really fucking bad person. He comes across as kind of charming and shit like that, but then it's like Shetty. Shetty came across as really nice and all of that, but she had all these underlying things that were like, what the fuck are you really up to? And then you find out, like, it's beyond just stuff to be concerned about. It's like, she's like literally trying to kill all the fucking Supes. So I'm worried that there might be something like really, really horrific with him. But I don't know. All right, let me think. Anything else? So that was a message from somebody who didn't like one of my comments, which, you know, happens with this is stuff with fucking Charlie Kirk, and I think that's his name, Charlie Kirk. Possibly. I know I said it earlier and my kid corrected me for saying the wrong name. So it's possible I'm saying the wrong name. Trump, invasion of free speech, just completely going against our Constitution. I think this was a comment about our Constitution, and they don't like that I am speaking up for people that are exercising their free speech, and that our free speech is being invaded by the people in charge of this country. So anyway, whatever. Just because you don't like my comments doesn't mean you have to keep being a fucking dickhead. And that's what they're doing. And I do not need to engage with that right now. So let's just close this shit up. I mean, I think as long as my browser is open, those notifications are going to keep coming up. But I don't need to engage with them. Okay, so let's see. We did the favorite episode. I did not do least favorite. So my least favorite was the first one. I think they did a really good job at incorporating a storyline that like honors the character Andre and honors Chance. I think they did really good at that. But I felt like some of the stuff in the first episode was just like so over the top cheesy, and that bothered me. And I know some of it is intentionally cheesy. I get that. It just felt like it was more than just the stuff that was supposed to be intentionally cheesy. So that's why I really felt the first episode was my least favorite. Okay, now, what do we think is going to happen with the next episode? Like, Kate is in a situation right now where she's got a severe brain trauma and she is still being manipulated, and she still doesn't understand the reality of that manipulation, how it is causing harm for everybody in ways that she just doesn't understand. And I really, really hated that Cypher had that freaking class going and took a person with a fresh, new, severe head injury and had her in that class. She wasn't fighting or anything, but she shouldn't have been there. She should not be part of that at all. She is not in a state to be involved in anything like that. Not emotionally, not physically, not at all. So that really pissed me off. But yeah, she's still like, she's not right. Her powers are not working right, understandably so. And a lot of times they're not working at all. And she doesn't seem to have somebody like really working with her on that. She probably does, and we are just not seeing it because it's not part of the storyline, because that would be a lot of extra time that they would have to spend on that. But like, just anything, just like a little comment about therapy could give you the inclination that somebody is working with her, or even a therapist like showing up one time to be like, hey, make sure you make it to our therapy sessions, anything like that. But no, that's not a priority in this show. So but I am worried that the stuff with her right now, with her head injury, with her powers not working right, is going to result in something really bad. I did like that Jordan finally got through to Sam and got him to find some other way to handle the shit that he doesn't like going on in his head without going to Kate, because Kate can't just wipe his memory now, so he has to find some other way. Granted, drugs isn't necessarily the right way to go, but I think in his situation it was better than what he was doing. Don't take that as a fucking excuse to say, hey, Venus says go ahead and do drugs. It's a better way to deal with your fucking trauma than... No. I'm saying in his situation, because he does not have access to appropriate care, and these fucking people that are in charge of these students are not taking proper care of him and not really keeping a good enough eye on him to know that he's struggling. Yeah, like, unfortunately, when there is severe trauma like that in real life, and you're not getting the kind of care that you need, and sometimes even when you are, people find negative coping mechanisms because they either don't know positive coping mechanisms, or the positive coping mechanisms that they have tried aren't working well enough for them. So it's not something that doesn't happen in regular everyday life. Regular everyday people go through traumatic situations, and when they do not know how to deal with that trauma in a positive way, to cope with that trauma in a positive way, a lot of times they will use negative coping mechanisms because that's the only thing they know to do to help cope with what's going on. It's not right, but it's a reality. Okay, let me take a bite of my food. It is getting cold, so I think after I'm done with this, I'll just go heat it back up. So yeah, we got that. We have stuff like, just a little bit of information about what this Odessa project is and how Marie was involved in it. And we learned that Marie was a Godolkin project rather than her parents' like natural conceived and born child. I don't know if the mom and dad are their mom and dad, because there is artificial insemination and all of that stuff. But we know that at the very least, her mom and dad were not able to get pregnant on their own, at least at that time. And so they went through Godolkin and got her. I don't know if she's like not foster. What do you call that? Like a surrogate pregnancy or adoption or what. But anyway, we at least know more. I think we're going to find out a decent amount more about Odessa out to this episode. And I think that the discussion, I think that the speech that Jordan gave at the end of the last episode is going to come back to haunt them. And I hope it does not come back in a really freaking extremely dangerous and deadly way. I have seen some of the advertisements that look like it's mostly that I see some of the stuff where they're pitting, it looks like they're pitting Jordan and Marie against each other in that fucking class where he's trying to have them fight and stuff. So if it's just that, I'm not extremely concerned, but if it's more than that, then I am very concerned. Now, I want to think of what might happen with Sam and Emma. I have a feeling that as Sam goes longer and longer without having his memory wiped, hopefully, that maybe he'll start being less of a fucking dickhead to Emma. I do not have any desire for them to get back together or anything like that. I think what he did was really fucked up, and they're gonna need a lot of healing just to have a fucking frenemy relationship. So I think that's important, and I hope that they start to kind of work on just their relationship when it comes to being former boyfriend, girlfriend, former friend, and now not friend at all, and you really fucked up and you really hurt me, trying to mend that. I really hope so. I know it's freaking GenV, and it might not be wise to get your hopes up about anything like that, but I will. Okay, all right, I am going to start one of these things that I found. Okay, let me see, which one do I want to do? God. Should Homelander be defeated? That was the first thing I found. Okay. Season 2, episode 4. This was the preview. Maybe I should do the preview first. I think that's a reaction. I'm not going to show somebody's reaction. Those are for me. Those are for me to watch. Reaction. 1, 2, 3. And that's a review. So I think that's all I've got for you. So I'm going to do the preview. Let's go to this. Alright. And go to the preview trailer, whatever you want to call it. And it's really short, so it does look like it's still mostly stuff from the other episodes, so maybe this is another fan thing. Some of it's not. Yeah, I don't feel like that gave me much. It's mostly stuff from the previous episodes. That sucks. Okay, now let's go ahead and watch this. Okay, let me start over. Okay, how should Homelander be defeated? GenV cast pitches ideas for the boys. Okay, let me remove some of these notifications. Actually, I'll just put clear all. Okay, let's go ahead and start.
Having a woman kick Homelander's ass. Excuse my French. Sorry, Mom, again. Obviously, you raised me super well.
Obviously, you raised me super well.
What kind of animal are you?
Oh, such a good question. If I got to kill Homelander, I would do it slowly. Something to do with his blood. You know, feeling his heart. Get out a little bit. Make him stop. Reflect. And then end. I'm like a lover of peace, so even though he's done just the worst things, maybe just go to sleep and don't wake up. Maybe, you know?
It's a very peaceful.
I don't want any bad karma. He can just do it the nice way. Marie kicks his f***ing ass. Having a woman kick Homelander's ass. Excuse my French. Sorry, Mom, again. Obviously, you raised me super well. Can you imagine a powerful black woman kicking Homelander? I can. I can imagine it. I said it. I'm a Marie stan, so.
Me too, me too. Do you think it will be like a slow death so he can process
I
what's going on?
hope it's so slow. I hope he is tortured. I hope Marie has so much fun. And I hope Emma gets to watch. And also throw in like a one-liner and be like, oh, take that.
I love it.
That's a horrible. I was like waiting for the joke to hit, and it just did not happen. So, writers, I need you on standby.
I would love it if he like flew into the sun and then just exploded. It would be awesome if he like choked. Maybe he'll like choke on some like quinoa or something. I don't know. It would be cool if he died in like a kind of lame way. Like maybe he like slips and accidentally lasers himself. Something like that.
I would love Homelander to die in some like really minor, like complications from the common cold. I would love that. I just want him to die in an embarrassing way. I think it's good. I think that's a fitting ending for him.
I think it'd be great if Homelander was having some sort of like pulpo or something like that. Maybe a dish, maybe some like calamari. And he chokes on the calamari, and there's no one around to hear his choking, and he just suffocates and dies.
The Deep is secretly laughing.
And then when Deep gets the news, he's mourning, but he's secretly inside like vengeance.
His heart needs to explode within his chest. And then the blood can come gushing out of his mouth and his ears and his nose and all of that.
You have the imagery really well thought out. Right?
Yeah, I'm ready for that one. Yeah.
This is something you've pictured many times.
Well, not with him, but with certain other people.
I don't know if that was the end or not.
Enjoy all new views of Expedition Africa. And
Yep, that was the end. That was the end. It's the end of the thing as we know it. Okay, so let's get back to live scream. Okay, I don't know if I have anything else. Like, what else could happen? There's so many things that could happen. We still have like this Homelander involvement, the reality that Vought is like pulling the strings on everything going on at Godalkin. So there's always so many things that could happen. But yeah, I can't really think of much. But I'm not 100% sure when the episode is supposed to start, because I think last time they said it was like 3 in the morning. So if it's 3 in the morning, whatever. If it was 3 this morning, then that means it's already out. And I'm pretty sure when I checked last time, it was not out yet. It was not on Netflix, which I could check. Let's check Netflix. 'Cause why not? Netflix. Get on with it. Go to my account.
Is
she doing? What are you doing?
Detective Cup?
Go look for it. I might, because it doesn't look
What
like
am I
it's in my
doing?
continue watching thing. My list.
My gut tells me everything.
Let's just look up.
I'm wondering why you're wearing A.B. Winter's shirt.
GenV. Oh, wait a minute. It's not Netflix. I forgot about that. It's not Netflix. So let's close that. It is Amazon. Okay, so let's take a look at the episodes. Yeah, see, it still only has up to episode 3. So it is not out yet. I think originally I thought it was supposed to be out at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's already after 8 p.m., so it's not that. And if it was September 16th at 3 a.m., that would have already happened, and it hasn't. So then the question is, what time? What time did it come out? Let's see. September 16th is when it says it came out. The first 3 episodes. So September 16th was 1 week ago. It doesn't tell you what time, though. I really wish they would do that. But no. Alright. I'm not going to keep y'all much longer, because I mean, I suppose I could just look it up. What time is episode 4 coming out? What time does GenV episode 4 come out? Yes. What time? What time? Let's see. What can I look at that will actually give me a correct time? What time does it come out on Prime Video? Let's check this one. U.S. Pacific Time, 3 a.m. No, 12 a.m. That is... Okay, Pacific Time. What is the difference between Pacific Time and Eastern Time? Oh, we've got Canada Eastern Time. 12 a.m. That doesn't make sense. Pacific Time and Eastern Time are not the same. 3 a.m. Eastern Time, 12 a.m. Pacific Time. That's what it says. It just doesn't seem right, because it said it would be the 16th at the Eastern Time Zone. And 3 a.m. the 16th was already gone when it aired. And in this case, it would be September 23rd, 3 a.m. And September 23rd, 3 a.m. is done and gone. Beep, 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 doop. Pacific Time. Pacific. So that's my parents' time zone in Washington. 12 a.m. Hmm. 12 a.m. 12 a.m. Let me see. What are they trying to say? GenV Season 2's next installment will drop on Prime Video, or the world's best, on Wednesday, September 24th. And today is the 23rd. Unless I'm wrong and it is on the 24th at 3 a.m. That could be. It's funny because I remember watching one of the other shows, and I would get information about like when it was coming out, and I thought it was coming out the next day, but it was like coming out but early in the morning or whatever, so it was coming out before I thought it was. And I was reading these articles thinking that the show had not aired yet, and so that the articles and the comments on them would not be about the show that had already aired, because it wouldn't have already aired. But the reality was it actually had already aired, and I didn't know it because of the whole freaking time zone thing. So I ended up getting really bad spoilers on a couple articles and a couple comment sections, not realizing that the episode had already aired, because I thought it had not aired yet. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to check a couple things here, and then I'm going to let you guys go, which, you know, I know not a lot of people are going to be watching anyway. That's okay. I am amusing myself enough. That's fine. If you're not amused by me, I know I'm not the most amusing person. Okay, let's see. 12 a.m. Pacific time, 3 a.m. Eastern time. So that does say the 24th. So that means today at 3 a.m. really early in the morning. Or tomorrow 3 a.m. while I'm asleep. So that's fine. And the finale will be on October 22nd. So just keep that in mind. All right, y'all. That's all I see. So I think it's time to just shut things down. I'm going to go ahead and back out of here, because I don't know if I already had this on a page or anything. I did. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm pretty sure I closed the other page. I can also close this because I didn't have anything on it that I needed. And this I can close. And then the other reactions I will watch myself when I feel like it. Alright. I think that's all I've got for you. I will go ahead and end my recording and my live stream, and then I'll get on YouTube and officially end my live stream, because I do realize that they don't all like end at the same time, and that's okay. So we're going to end the recording.